Are you in the zone for prednisone? That was good. I'm using that one. I like that one.
Good. That's good. That sounds like a sports announcer. Hi, I'm Milan.
Hey, I'm Matthew. We were both given the opportunity to ask for a once-in-a-lifetime experience from a certain organization that rhymes with shake a fish. So for our wish, we asked to start our very own podcast. I'm just kidding. I went to Boston, New York to watch baseball.
I went to Paris and you're at Disney. But now we have a podcast too.
Welcome to the Wish Kids.
Prednisone. I don't know if you were on Prednisone. I was on Prednisone. That really affected me, and I just think it's so tough. Didn't like it at all. There are some good things, and then there are not some. There are some not so good things.
Yeah, definitely. Prednisone's a fan favorite of mine. But no, I definitely know what you mean. Especially some of those not good things. Like one of them was just just taking pills for me in general was a not good thing, and not even prednisone specifically, but just all pills in general. I used to have such a hard time taking them.
Oh my gosh. I totally know what you're talking about, because taking them was such a process for me because there was so many.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember at one point while I was in the hospital, I had to take 27 pills each night. And I remember it was 27 exactly because
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was completely incapable of taking more than one pill at a time. So I would sit there, I'd have a little cup of pills and a cup of water, and I would just take one pill and a sip of water, and one pill and a sip of water, and I'd have to fill up the water 2 or 3 times just to get through that little cup. 27, but it was a little cup of pills, just I had to take them one at a time.
That does seem like a lot, but I do have a genuine question. Do you put the pill in your mouth first to swallow, or do you do water and then the pill?
You can do water and then pill? That's a thing?
Oh yeah, for sure. I take a sip of water and then I put the pill, and then you just swallow, and it would take me literally so long because like you, I had so many, and I had methotrexate, prednisone, and all of those other fun mix of a little concoction of drugs.
Yeah, the variety pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never, the only time, actually, yeah, quick story break here. The only time I've ever tried to drink something first and then put something in my mouth, I was probably 9 or 10. And for some reason, I was really, really into combining different foods and flavors. And so little genius me, I'm oh, you know what I bet will taste great? Sliced apples and milk. But rather than biting the apple and drinking the milk, I just take a massive sip of milk. And this is at the dinner table with my family. And then I open my mouth to eat a slice of apple, and the milk just comes pouring out of my mouth. It just came pouring out all over my plate and all over the table. It was just a mess.
That is a very interesting story, Matthew, and I don't think I've ever heard of milk and apples. So now that you're a little bit older, have you revisited that combination at all?
No, I prefer my apples with an empty mouth and separate from my milk. Yeah. I haven't tried to eat much of anything with a mouthful of milk since then.
Yeah, I bet. But okay, wait. You talking about milk kind of reminded me of something, which is other liquids. So did you ever try to take your pills with water, or did you try other liquids like orange juice or something?
Oh yeah, no, I took a lot of pills with Gatorade sometimes. Shout out Gatorade. Not sponsored. But no, I found that helped me a ton, just having a flavored drink or a sugary drink. Especially for the pills that had the nasty coating on them, or the chalky ones too. So, I felt the flavored drink really helped them go down easier, and just take away from that nasty flavor.
Couldn't be me. Could not be me. I can't imagine the flavor. Okay, wait, especially with prednisone, an orange juice, I just can't imagine, because if you don't swallow prednisone properly or it gets stuck, it's so nasty, and there's that's disgusting. The idea of orange juice. This was orange juice and toothpaste almost.
I was about to ask, is it orange juice and toothpaste? Yeah,
Yeah. And actually, I used to have to eat my food with, like, my pills, and it just, like, wasn't a great
Like
experience.
wrapping the pill in the food like a dog?
Oh, no,
Like
no, 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 that is a hard no. I mean, like, you know how you can't take, like, pills or, like, some pills,
oh,
like, on an empty stomach?
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, like, I kind of mentioned this in our podcast about food, like, eating in the morning is just so, so hard, and, I would take my pills in the morning and at night, so I'd have to do, like, double dose, and it's just, like, an insane amount of pills at that point.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
lot.
yeah, but there was, like, times where I had to, like, wake up just to take my pills, like, I'd be so tired, but I knew, like, I had to take my pills at a certain time,
Mhm.
and, I would eat them with, like, a protein bar because it was, like, just quick and easy, so I could just go back to bed. I didn't have to, like, wake up and, like, make pancake mix or something.
Yeah,
Um
right, 'cause that's what everyone does every morning
Right,
for
no, you just
breakfast.
need to make, like, a full-blown, like, breakfast,
Yeah.
like a Disney Channel breakfast where there's
Mhm.
all the food lined up.
Oh my gosh, like the toast and the OJ and the
Yeah, and they just,
bacon
like,
and
take
the
one bite and they're like,
yeah,
"Bye,
oh,
mom."
gotta go to school, yeah.
Yeah, no, no, no. I just, like, chowed down on a protein bar, and so, like, this bar was, like, my favorite thing, like, every, like, kid at school would be like, "Oh my gosh, those are my favorite," and I was like, "I know, right?" And, like, if, like, you had one, like, you were, like, the cool kid for the day.
Wow.
And, like, I would eat them all the time. And so I started taking them with my pills, and it just got to the point where, like, I couldn't eat them anymore because I, like, associated them so much with the moment of
Oh,
taking
mhm.
pills. Oh, yeah. And then it became, like, a struggle to, like, eat anything else in the morning, and it was just, like, something and, like, I do like, ever since I grew out of, like, my prednisone stuff, I can still, like, barely eat them today. Like, I will, but it's just, like, I just can't.
Yeah, no, that's I we talked about that actually on the food one also, just, like,
Mhm.
not being able to eat something because of the steroids, like, they make you crave something, but they also
Right.
make you, like, sick of something, but
Yeah.
that doesn't even sound like that, that's just you overeating the bar, like, that's on you,
Yeah.
that's not on prednisone, that's on you.
Oh, well, I mean, for sure, but I do there was a negative connotation created with the pills a little bit, like,
Uh-huh,
especially, like,
yeah,
when you'd have cravings and then you just be like, that made me start thinking about the foods I would eat more because I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I have a craving, but I don't wanna ruin that food for me." And
mhm.
so, like, I also know that the taste of, like, the pills just ruined everything for me if I swallowed it wrong.
Oh, yeah, no, I was actually gonna segue into that, but you nailed it. That's like the taste of prednisone, and some of these other pills is just, like, so unbelievably awful. Like, it ruins the taste of literally anything and everything else for a good few minutes.
Oh, yeah, like, they were so chalky and just the aftertaste in your mouth, like, if you didn't, like, swallow it, like,
Yeah.
if it got caught, it was just so gross.
Yeah, and they dissolve too, like
Ew.
like, I remember there were a few times I had the pill in my mouth, and, like, there's some, like, times where you're off and you, like, can't swallow it, like, you try to drink and just get, like, stuck in your mouth and won't go down, but then
Yeah.
it's one of those, like, chalky pills, it just starts to dissolve and it just gets all over the inside of your mouth, and it's, like, the worst taste, it's just, like, just coats everything. I
Ooh.
There were a few times, actually, I remember in the hospital, like, I couldn't get it down, and I tried, like, 3 gulps of water and couldn't get it down, and I just had to spit it out into my hand before it started dissolving, and we told the nurse, we were like, "Yeah, like, I spit one out," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and I think one time they got me, like, an extra, and another time they're like, "Oh, like, we don't have we can't get you another dose, just not in your prescription, just take one tomorrow." Like, "Okay." But, like, yeah, just, like, there's that certain point, you just can't deal with the taste any longer, it
Yeah,
just
no, that just sounds disgusting, and it actually just, like, brought back, like, all of my memories that I have, like, repressed of, like, the times I did not properly swallow.
Uh-huh.
And, like, it just made me think that, like, I was so excited to just start weaning off of prednisone, like, I used to go into the doctor's office and, like, beg them, like, "Please, please, please, please let me get off of this."
Wow.
And then, like, I think it took about 2, maybe, like, 3 years to get completely off of it.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, like, prednisone is one of the major drugs for a lot of treatments, it seems like.
Mhm.
Which is, like, pretty amazing how diverse of a drug it is and like how much it helps to treat just like such a wide variety of things. Um, but it definitely takes a toll on the body, and not only like cravings, but just like there's a bunch of like physical effects too. Like it has a ton of physical effects. Like there's like the bloating, the swelling, the
Oh,
sweating, the aches, the acne. Like
stop. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Acne. Holy cow. That one like hit hard. I remember getting so much acne and I'd be so worried about it. And so I would start like putting a beanie on and I would try to cover it, but it just made it like 10 times worse. Like it was like really bad on my forehead. And then like I would just put the beanie like right
the
there.
the beanie line, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've dealt with acne like before I even started treatment. I've dealt with acne my whole life. And I had pretty bad acne from playing sports and just being like a sweaty kid in general.
Mhm.
Like but prednisone definitely added to it. And it did take a little bit to stop seeing the skin effects of prednisone. Like even after stopping taking it, it took a while to like stop seeing the effects of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do agree with you that it took like a really long process to get off of it, and just like I know for a fact that like my self-esteem and body image were just like so affected, and I just remember becoming so self-conscious at that point.
Yeah, that's one of the side effects I don't tell you about. But like just like the body image, and there were definitely those days where it was like the bloating would be worse, or I'd have some especially bad flare-ups. Like just like my neck, I remember was like full of it. And I wouldn't feel the best about my look. But then I'd try to even it out by like wearing my cool sneakers, or I'd wear a Dodgers hat because I was allowed to
Yeah.
wear Dodgers hats and hats to school because I was losing my hair from treatment. So I was like, hey, it's a plus. I'll look super cool with my Dodgers hat on at school.
I feel like that's a good like kind of compromise to like make. And you did bring something up of just like people like you not feeling good about your look, and it kind of reminded me of like this John Mulaney joke. And he was like, "Oh yeah, like when you're 12 or 13 and you don't want anyone to look at you." And like I literally remember feeling like that, but like worse. And like I think I like went on that I got on prednisone actually at that age, and like my self-esteem is just like rock bottom. Like,
Mm,
middle school is already like really hard and it's tough as it is because kids begin to become like more aware of like
yeah.
differences and stuff. And like that age having like an increasingly obvious weight gain and bloating from like the medication was just not fun at all.
Yeah, no, my treatment took place right at the end of middle school too, and like start high school. Yeah, which is obviously a very important time in social and physical development. I was super lucky to have like some really good friends who knew what I was going through, and so they were just like they were so supportive of me in every way. I don't know if I've ever brought up anything about my physical image to them, um, like saying like what was going on, but they just knew. They were just like so amazing to like looking back at it, it was amazing how supportive they were of me, like to not ever address that and just like look at me for who I was as a person rather than like seeing this like I don't want to sound mean, but just like I was not good looking. And like it was like like they would but they just knew like me as a friend and like they stayed by my side. Which was I just appreciate that so much from them. I don't know if you ever had like a friend or some friends like that too.
I actually just want to say that I think that's like awesome and like really cool that you had like friends that were in your corner, like supporting you and just like being understanding of what you were going through. Um, I can honestly say that I don't really think that I had a lot of friends that understood, especially because like I went to such a small school that like if you weren't at school that day, you had to find someone else to hang out with because it was just like the social environment is just so interesting. Um,
Private
and like
school.
yeah, yeah. Um, but like I I do know that there were some like supportive friends and family, but just like I do remember this very distinct moment that I was in like I think like 6th grade. And yeah, it was 6th grade because I just like gotten sick that year. And I had been sick for like most of the school year and I had to come back and like hold my spot or something. It was some private school thing or whatever. And so like these kids had like probably known me as this like super skinny little girl. And like I came back to school and it was just so different. Like I know for a
Oh,
fact that like they were looking at me differently and it was so awkward. I felt awkward. And I remember it was like the last day of school. I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. So it was summertime and like, okay, you're not just magically cured over summer. Like just because the school year ended doesn't mean that like suddenly you're better.
yeah, no.
Um, and I was still taking like these huge doses of prednisone. So like I came back for the first day of 7th grade and I remember in the morning I was so excited. I was putting on like my uniform and just like getting my backpack together.
Yeah, the first day look like very
Yeah, yeah,
important.
you know,
Yeah,
like when
very
you laid your
important.
outfit out.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Me and like my outfit was the same like every day, but I still laid it out. And I just remember like I showed up and this kid, and I won't say his name, but
Good,
I do
good.
remember it. If you're listening to this, you probably don't remember the situation, but I do. He literally came up to me and was like, "Oh wow, you're still fat." And I was like, I
No.
yeah, yeah. And I remember that day I was just so quiet and I just felt so bad about myself
Oh
for
my,
like the rest
that's
of the day.
awful. Are you kidding? Like,
Oh, no,
what?
I'm serious, and, like, the teacher even, like, looked at the kid like, "Are you"
Oh
like,
my
"I can't believe you'd
gosh.
say that." Yeah, and I think it, like, really hurt because this person had, like, no idea the pain I was already in and, like, what I was going through, and, I think that just taught me a lot of how I personally have no idea, like, what is going on in someone else's life, and I think this, like, might be a good time to mention that, like, you won't regret being kind. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, don't let people walk all over you, but being kind doesn't hurt, and I also think that it shows that, like, your comments on someone else's body affects them, and you literally have no idea, like, what they're going through, and there's just no reason to make those comments, and because, like, everybody's body is supposed to be different, and I think that's, like, what makes us unique.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point to bring up. Like, I try my best not to be negative in general. I hope that shows in this
Oh.
podcast. I try not to be. I try to have a positive outlook on life and
Yeah.
people.
I can actually vouch for that. I do think you're, like, probably, like, one of the most, like, happy spirited person that, like,
Well,
I
thank
know.
you. I try.
Yeah.
Um, but no, especially towards other people and like just like like their bodies, like sure, like prednisone might make you look a bit different, but that's temporary and that's super important to remember that like all the bloating and the acne and these aches, like they will pass. Like it might take a few hours or like a few days
Mhm.
or a few weeks or months or years, but they will
Yeah.
pass. Like they will pass, and you'll eventually look like your old self again, or maybe like a new and improved version of yourself.
I
Like
think that yeah. I have to agree with you, like, that's a really good point. I don't know if you have anything else
no,
that
that
you
I was just starting my ramble, so thank you for cutting me off.
okay.
I
No,
was
I
gonna
didn't
keep rolling. I
didn't mean
was
to. But I just think, like, what you said holds some really good, like, weight to it, pun intended. Um, I feel that prednisone actually gave me a chance to, like, appreciate my body differently and, like, understand, okay, like I'm still alive. Like my body is working so hard to keep me alive and I have to get through this little bit of like these undesired side effects, but I get to
mm,
be alive. And that to me is just so worth it. And I am so thankful and so grateful that I was able to have medication that helped me keep my life and that I get to experience so many things that I almost missed out on with my medical condition. And I'm just so blessed and lucky to have been able to have doctors and like a chance to have the medication, even though there are some things that aren't so great.
yeah, no, that's really sweet. That's like yeah, that's very very true. Just appreciating like all the positive, however few there may be, like appreciate the positive aspects of this drug we all know and love. That's um you mentioned, sorry, quick side story. Again,
Okay, it's totally okay. We have a podcast for a reason.
that's
Talk, talk,
true.
talk.
Yeah. Uh but you mentioned like unwanted side effects and it's like I remember when I was on prednisone, which is it's technically a steroid.
It is,
Um
yes.
and so I definitely experienced some of the not not fun side effects, but like the more steroidy, the stereotypical steroid side effects
Gotcha.
from it, which turned out like so. All right, I'll just get into it. So I was playing basketball in high school. I while I'm getting treatment, so I like going for treatment on like a Monday, and I would have a game on like a Thursday, and so that's like the peak. Like once a week, once a month, I would start the Prednisone pulse, take it for 5 days, and always around the third or fourth day is when I like start to look and like feel like jacked,
Uh-huh.
like there are the bad days where like you're bloated and you're like swelling. That's like day 1 or 2, but day like 3 or 4, like I thought I looked really good. like all my muscles would feel and look bigger. Like my acne would go away for like 1 or 2 days, and like I would just feel awesome for those few days. And apparently affected my mood too. Like Roid-Rage, like it's a very real thing. Like it would affect my mood and how I would play basketball. And there was one game in particular where I went and I dove for a few loose balls, and I tried to just like block the absolute like heck out of someone. Which I'm usually like a pretty like chillax player. I'm not like super competitive. I would just like
Right.
play for fun mostly.
Uh-huh.
So I wouldn't like dive after loose balls most of the time. But then right after the game, my coach, he went up to my mom and he was like, I can always tell when your son's on steroids because he plays like this.
That's funny. You must get like really competitive then. Like you go
Yeah.
from like this like really like, "Ooh, like you can score on my hoop to no, it's my hoop."
No, the Roid-Rage like really got to me. Like it was like, and actually there were a few times where like looking back, like I unfortunately I snapped at my mom a few times. I remember too, which is not pretty. Like be nice to your parents, guys. Like they love you a lot. Um, but I feel bad for it. But like she was like, no, it's okay. Like you were on steroids. I'm like, yeah, I was. Like I experienced the highs and lows of steroids. Um, and so I mean, it made me realize like how much this drug affected me, like not only like physically like looking, but like my actual like physical abilities, like so much so that was like noticeable by others. And I'm definitely not endorsing steroids for
No,
athletes out there. Like
no,
if you play sports, like don't I wouldn't suggest start taking steroids, but
no.
because I stopped taking them as soon as I could,
Hmm.
especially because of all the other side effects that came with them, like
Right.
the athletic abilities for 2 or 3 days was definitely
Not
not
worth it.
not worth the other
The other side effects.
others yeah, awful side effects. But I think it's just important to look at the positive aspect of that. Like the acting clears up for a few days, and then you're like you dive for loose balls, and you look a little stronger for 2 or 3 days, and it's like I don't know. That's my positive outlook on prednisone, I guess. I don't know. Do you have any positive takes for this drug that we all love?
Um, I do have to say this is a very fascinating story, and I'm glad other people were able to recognize your little superhuman abilities for a
Yeah,
little bit.
my short spurts of NBA
Yeah,
potential that I had.
right. The real short spurts.
Real short spurts, yeah.
I guess I would say that if you are on prednisone and are experiencing like any of these things, that it's a way to help you. And as sucky as some of the side effects are, I think it's worth it for the moments that you didn't expect and like all the good times you do get to have. And we need those like not so great times to appreciate the good ones.
I like that a lot. No, I agree with that. Like, yeah, this drug, it stinks at times. All drugs stink at times. Like, but that's okay. Because as long as these prescription drugs are helping
Prescription.
you, as long as these
Prescription.
prescription drugs are helping you in the long run,
Keyword.
yeah.
To repeat.
As long as these prescription drugs are helping you in the long run, I think that it definitely outweighs the stinkiness of them.
Yes.
We talked a lot about looks and appearance. Those don't mean very much at all. Like it's very, I'd say it's safe to say for both Milan and I that like looking back on pictures of ourselves from the times when we were taking prednisone, we weren't the most attractive kids.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. Like, I actually, like, have a photo that, like, I refuse to look at because of how bad I think I look in it. And my mom will literally just tell me, "Milana, you look great in it, like, you're so cute." I'm like, "Um,
Why do you lie
we
to me,
need new
mom? Why?
prescription glasses?"
Yeah. No, is that it's like Yeah, I mean, people don't always look good. We're not all Ryan Reynolds, like, but that's okay. Like, because what really is important is your health and your happiness, and like those two things should be valued above all else in life. And if you're taking this drug to improve your health, and in the meantime you're able to maintain your happiness, like seeing the positive, like the small positives while taking this drug, then you're succeeding and you're doing well in life. Like that, there'll be bad days, sure, while you're on prednisone or not. There, everyone has bad days. And I remember some days my body aches. My body would just ache so much I wouldn't be able to get out of bed. Like I wouldn't, I couldn't even like turn over to side because I had acne on my hips and sides. I just had to like lay there while my back was like hurting, my stomach was bloating. And it's like you just have to realize that's okay and like make the most of that day. Like maybe turn that day into a movie day, maybe discover like some new songs, maybe listen to a podcast or two. The Wish Kids, we have a few episodes out, maybe. Um, Whatever you decide to do, then like however your body feels and looks, just try your best to see the bright side and positive aspects of what you're going through, because that's what gives you the strength to keep fighting.
Matthew, aw, that was really nice, and I think that did have some really good tips. The other thing that you did touch on it, but like to put it in like a shorter condensed version is that
Yeah,
there
TLDR, yeah.
yeah, exactly. There are good moments in life, and there are times where we do kind of zero in on like the more negative things. And it's like, let's start zeroing in on like the more positive things. Like, there are good things. And like, you woke up this morning and like you're here. And like, I think that's like a blessing every day,
Hmm.
especially when that's not always guaranteed for a lot of kids and just a lot of people in general. So, yeah.
quick
Yes,
quick
Matthew.
addition to that, thank you. For listeners, I was raising my
Matthew's raising
hand.
his
Yeah.
hand.
I want to make sure I get my point in. No, I read something that like so much of life is just mental. Like I read something that like if you right when you wake up in the morning, regardless of how you feel or regardless of how many hours you slept or how you slept, if the first thing you say and think in the morning is I slept really well last night, then you'll like feel more refreshed and alert and have a better day. And like I remember I did that this morning. I woke up, I slept maybe 6 or 7 hours last night, not very much. I do not recommend everyone get good sleep, but I woke up and I knew I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I just said I slept well last night. And then I like stood up. I'm like, wow, I actually like feel good. And usually I feel awful if I don't get more than like 9 hours of sleep. Like I need sleep, but like I felt good when I woke up. I was like, wow, that's yeah, just believe it and
It'll come
yeah,
true.
believe it and do it. Believe in your dreams. Yeah.
I think that's actually like really good. And I think we should probably end on like that note and with some other good notes or music suggestions. I actually want to mention one thing is that we have created a Spotify playlist with all of our song recommendations if you want to check those out.
Yeah, no,
Wish Kids.
definitely be sure to go check out that playlist if you want to see some more of these some snazzy tunes we've suggested in the past episodes. But speaking of snazzy tunes, my first song recommendation for this episode is going to be the song Same Drugs. We talked about drugs quite a bit, obviously, in this podcast. So I thought the song title would be appropriate. There's two versions of the song. There's the original by Chance the Rapper, who I love Chance. He's amazing. Um, the other version is a cover by a band called MisterWives,
Amazing band.
Mister.
Amazing
Yeah, I heard
song.
another song last night actually by them for the first time that I really liked too. But no, so both versions of the song, Same Drugs, are incredible. Um, Quick story for the MisterWives version though. I've had a lot of stories. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's a podcast. That's what we do here. The first time I ever heard this song, I was laying on my bed. It was like probably midnight, just like pitch black in my room. I had my headphones on listening. And so I queued up a few songs with my headphones and then I fell asleep. I never fall asleep while listening to music. It's like when I'm listening, I want to hear it. But I fell
Mhm.
asleep and I woke up like 3 hours later. All my queued songs had finished, but Spotify automatically like starts playing more recommended songs after, which I don't know. I love that feature. I don't, if people who don't have Spotify, like that's a big reason to get Spotify. I love that feature. But anyways, I wake up at 3 a.m. and it's like the middle to end part of this song. Right after there's a short piano. So if you haven't listened to it, there's a short piano solo, and then it goes. The lyrics go, "Don't forget the happy thoughts. All you need are happy thoughts." Once you listen to the song, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this part of the song like starts speeding up and makes you feel like kind of like anxious inside. And so I'm hearing this at 3 a.m. for the first time ever, like half awake. I'm just like freaking out. So all of a sudden I have this anxiety boost. Just like I'm like, what? But then like cools down right after and it just becomes gorgeous. I was like, whoa, what's a song? Like now it's one of my most played songs. I love that song.
Naturally, that's
naturally.
a great story of how you discover a song.
Yeah.
Like, just get big anxiety surge, and then
Huge
like,
anxiety
oh
surge
wait,
at
it's
3 in the
actually like
morning. Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. But no, Same Drugs by Chance the Rapper or by MisterWives. Either version, both great. I have them both on my playlists. My next song is called Couch Potato by Jakubi. Because sometimes you're on prednisone, all you want to do is sit on the couch. And that's totally fine. Also though, this song is just like it's so good. It makes me want to like dance and like just like jiggle
That's
around
good.
every time I hear it. It's a great song.
That's how music should make you feel.
Yeah. Sorry. Third one, last one is called To Noise Making, in parentheses, Sing by Hozier. Hozier, however you want to pronounce it. He was my number 2 most played artist last year on Spotify, and he is amazing. Everyone knows the song Take Me to Church. Everyone remembers that from way back when.
Yes, classic.
Classic Hozier.
I'm pretty sure that song played at every middle school dance I went to.
It was a hit. It was huge.
Yeah.
Every single one of his songs is amazing. Like I'm gonna suggest at least 5 more of them in the future. But this one, like, sometimes you're on the roids, you just want to get up and move or sing, just blare out. And this song just talks about letting it out. Like even if you don't know the words, just make noise and just sing. And I love his whole album, everything. I'm gonna suggest like half his album, probably half of like he's amazing. Go listen to the song.
Aw. I got a little fan over here.
Huge fan. No, huge. Like it's Ariana Grande, and then Hozier is like a close second.
That's good.
Yeah,
Ariana Grande is amazing. So
yeah, she's top by far. Yeah, she's
well, tragically, I'm not recommending an Ariana Grande song in this podcast right now. I know, bummer. Actually, I do think my first song recommendation is going to be called Be Okay by Oh Honey. This song's actually really special to me. I used to listen to it, I think, like once a day, and it just like really puts into perspective celebrating life and all of the little things that come with it, even if it's as simple as just fresh cut grass. And if you know, you know. Then I think my next one's going to be Love Myself by Hailee Steinfield, and probably Most Girls also by Hailee. Really good, I think, empowering messages, and I just think that like it just sends a good like thing to remember for yourself every day of just like, you know what, you should love yourself and like show up with full intention of being a good person.
No, that's very true. You said if you know, you know. For listeners, it's not an inside joke. There's a lyric in the song that says as simple as fresh cut grass that makes you happy. Like it's it's a lyric in the song.
Don't worry. It's not like I'm totally excluding like anybody.
Yeah, it's an inside joke that you guys don't get.
But definitely listen to the song and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about like right away.
Yeah, then it can be an inside joke. You guys can have inside jokes with us. How great would that be? That's yeah, no, I liked all 3 of those songs when I listened to them. She's from Pitch Perfect, right? Like, is that where she got her start, Hailee Steinfeld? I'm pretty sure she's in Pitch Perfect too.
I believe she is, and then she's also on that movie Edge of 17, which is an amazing movie. Should definitely watch it.
Oh, we haven't had a movie recommendations
we haven't
watch it in a while. Actually, no, last episode was our first one, so never mind. It's been a long time since obviously not as big Pitch Perfect fans as we are Big Time Rush fans. So sorry, we don't know the full history of that.
Big Time Rush forever.
Yeah. No, I liked all three of those songs. They're really nice and upbeat. Love Myself puts me in like a nice dancing mood. Great little energy boosters, all of them. And like you said, like really good messages too. Not very subliminal,
Yeah.
very obvious and out there message of
Yeah, very
especially love,
direct.
yeah, especially love yourself. Just like it's telling you, hey, love yourself. Like it's like a nice swift punch in the face. Like do this, help yourself out.
Yeah,
Certainly gets the point across though. Yeah,
right.
it's good.
And something you actually said reminded me of saying something of the fact that, um, just like if you're someone who loves helping people too, or just in general, like you can't really help other people if you don't take care of yourself either. So I think that's like a really important thing is to just like love yourself so you can love other people and so you can love to the full potential that you can. And just please remember to take care of yourself and just know you're really strong. And even if you know someone who is on prednisone and it might not be you personally, just know that it might not be easy for them. And like you can be a good friend by being supportive and kind. And it's just something that's really important during prednisone. Um, so yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. And as always, the Wish Kids wish you well.
Thank you to our moms for moderating and our dads for proving nuns and occasional thumbs up.
We would also like to thank all of our wonderful nurses and doctors that we've had along the way and remind you that they are healthcare professionals, not us.
Please keep in mind, any medical information or stories shared and discussed in this podcast are based on personal experiences and are not meant to serve as medical advice. Please talk with your doctor about any medical concerns, questions, and guidance as they are trained medical professionals.
Any brands, corporations, trademarks, or characters in the show, even those based on real people, are purely fictional.
The Wish Kids wish you well.